Hi, it's V with Crafting Daily Dose. I've been having fun with the Pansy Petals suite, and today I have a simple ribbon pull card to share with you. When you pull on this, the insert slides out and can be removed. I've attached a seed packet for pansies to this particular one, but you can also attach a gift card, or you can use this space to decorate with stamps or papers or write your message. Since I have a seed packet on the front of my insert, I will write my message on the back. This is pretty quick to put together, and I'll show you how. Start with a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5. This is how you would probably cut most of your standard card bases. I'm using the Fresh Freesia color for this particular one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at 4 inches. I'm being careful to use my lighter blade, which is the scoring blade, and I don't want to accidentally cut it. So I'm going to score at 4 inches and then score again at 8 inches. Now bring it to 8 3/8. And this time we're going to cut. So I'm moving the scoring blade out of the way, bringing my cutting blade up. So I've just trimmed off a little 1/8 inch strip. Now, depending on what you're going to put for your insert, you might choose to trim a 1/4 inch off of the top of your cardstock. What that would do is to make this shorter, and it gives a little bit more room inside the envelope for your ribbon, since there's going to be a knot at the end. I'm not going to do that because the seed packet that I happen to have is almost the full height of this, and so it's going to be too short if I try to trim off the top. So when I go to put this inside the envelope, I just have to be careful to kind of tuck the knot for my ribbon down. But again, if you have something that is shorter than what I have, you can choose to trim off that 1/4 inch at the top. While you have your trimmer out, go ahead and cut a piece of the designer series paper to decorate the front, and then also a piece of cardstock to act as your insert. If you're using colored cardstock, I think you'll be fine. If you are using basic white cardstock, if you have the thick version of it, I think that that would be sturdier, since this is going to be pulled in and out, and it may have to support the weight of something like a seed packet or a gift card. But if you don't and you're using regular basic white, that will work too. Both of these pieces are the same dimensions. They are 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. If you ended up trimming off a 1/4 inch from the top of your card base, then don't forget to also do the same and trim off a 1/4 inch off the top of these as well. For the die cuts, I'm using the largest of the rectangles from the Stitch So Sweetly set. This one is just under 3 inches by 4 inches, and I've gone ahead and stamped a sentiment on it using soft succulent ink. This is a sentiment that's borrowed from the Welcoming Windows set because I'm making Mother's Day cards. The die set from the suite comes with some standalone dies, which you've seen me use for other projects, and it also comes with these outline dies. They are exactly the right size to cut out the stamped images, or they can also be used to cut out the images from the patterned paper. So that's a little shortcut if you don't want to take the time to stamp or color them. And same thing on the leaves. They can also be used on either the stamped images or on the patterned paper. And once you have your images, we're ready to go ahead and assemble our card. So here's our card base from earlier, or really it's more of a card sleeve. We have these 2 score lines, and I'm going to go ahead and do both of those as mountain folds and reinforce them with my bone folder. I'll use my snips to go ahead and just trim off little triangles from this little flap here. Now I'm going to orient this sleeve so that my flap is on the right hand side there, and I'm going to put some tear-in tape right along this bottom edge as well as on the little flap. I'm cutting the tape rather than tearing it because I like it to be a little bit more precise, and I'm using spare scissors so that my good ones don't get gummed up. Once I have that applied, I'm going to remove just part of the backing from this corner right here. Just enough so that I can press this flap down on top of it. And then I'm going to remove just a little bit from this part here. So I'm just getting those started. I'm not pulling them off all the way. I'm actually now going to move to this area and start to peel off the backing here. I like to remove the backing in stages so that I'm just exposing a part of the adhesive at a time, and it's just easier to line things up and adjust things if I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this over, trying to make my bottom edges flush. If I'm happy with that, I'll go ahead and remove more of the backing. Till it's all the way pressed together. And then I'll start to remove the rest of this backing as well. I'm going to punch a hole at the top here for my ribbon to go through. I'm using the detailed trio punch, but you can use any kind of small punch, including the kind that you would use for school or office. So I'm putting this inside my punch here, and I am just kind of eyeballing where the center is. So of course you can measure it if you'd like. That looks about right. So I'll go ahead and punch. And there we go. Remember, we've got this bottom part here that's sealed in, and then this edge that we had sealed in, and so this hole is at the top. I've cut a piece of matching ribbon that is 18 inches, and I'm just going to go ahead and thread it through the holes, both of them, and try to even up the ends here. Next, I'll take my insert and I will put it into the opening of the card sleeve. So you're going to have ribbon on either side of it, and then when you press down on this, that is going to push the ribbon into the card sleeve. Go ahead and tie a knot. So I'm taking both ribbon ends and I'm looping it around my finger like this. And then I'm just going to push the ends through that loop, both ends together. This is a really nice thin flat ribbon, so your knot is not going to be too bulky. Now notice that the insert is going to peek out a little bit. It's less than 1/8 of an inch, and it's actually a little clue that there is something in there that can come out once you pull on the ribbon. Remember that I had chosen not to trim anything off the top of my card because I really did need to have the whole height in order to fit the seed packet in there. So if you also did not trim yours, don't worry. Our envelopes are just a little bit bigger than the standard card size, and so it's still going to fit. You just have to be careful when you're putting it in. So I tuck this knot under, and I put it inside the envelope. When I get to the knot, I'm just going to help push it in. And it's going to fit fine, but you can test yours just to double check and make sure before you go on. Once I'm happy with everything, I'm ready to do the decoration. And for that, I'll go ahead and pull out the insert, just so this part is flatter for me to work with. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal to adhere my layers onto the card front. When I put adhesive on, I'm going to cover 3 sides, and then I am going to put a little bit at the top, but the center part of the top, I'm not going to put any adhesive there because I need to make sure that my ribbon can move freely. Just check and make sure that the ribbon can pull through. Now we're just going to decorate with our flowers, and before I glue them down, I'm just going to curl the petals up a little bit with my fingers, and generally I only put glue in the middle so that these edges can lift up from the card and give a little bit of dimension. For this flower that matches our card, I am going to go ahead and add a little extra to it. I'm taking a second image that's the same, and I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out just this top layer of petals here. I trimmed off some of the excess white border as well, and I'm just going to again use my fingers to curl this up and just put glue in the middle. And then this is going to lay on top of the other one. Just to give it a little extra dimension. I'll glue in some leaves, and because I didn't put glue around the edges of my flowers, not only does that give me a little extra dimension, but it also allows me to come back in and easily tuck some leaves underneath. And for the last little flower in the foreground, after I curl up the petals, I'm going to go ahead and put that on dimensionals, which are these foam adhesive stickers that are going to give it lift and dimension in a different way. I want to put my seed packet onto the insert, and I think the easiest way to do that is with some glue dots. So I'm just going to attach one here. There's another one. Just going to press it to the back of this. And I'm going to put my fingers over it just to decrease the stickiness a little bit. I don't want it to stick so well that it's going to tear open the seed packet when the person tries to remove it. I just want to stabilize it so that it doesn't fall off as it's being pulled up. So now to load this into our card, we are going to put it through the loop of the ribbon here. And I'm going to flex it just a little bit to get it to go through. All right, then I'm going to line it up over the opening of the card sleeve. And then just push down. You can see that ribbon goes along with it. And you're good to go. So that's our finished card. I actually have 3 versions, the polished pink, pale papaya, and then the fresh freesia one that we did together. I hope that you've enjoyed this dose of creativity and that you'll join me the next time. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.